Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, it's hump day.
Actually, hump day was yesterday.
What? Oh, where was I? Was I not there? Was I not there?
I think you missed today, bro. Today is Thirsty Thursday.
See, this is why you shouldn't take naps in the afternoon. You take a nap, you wake up, you realize, oh, I missed the school bus, and it's Sunday, and I'm 52. Shouldn't do it. Yeah, shouldn't do it.
Funny stuff. Well, by the way, it is not just Thursday, though. It's not just Thirsty Thursday, but it is also May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you always.
Always.
Always. May the 4th be with you always.
We are big Star Wars nerds in this household, and we're also happen to be into Star Trek, so we have a good time. So we always celebrate May the 4th. Have a good time.
There can be only one, right?
There can be only one. Just throw them all. Just pick a bunch of movie lines. I'll be back because there can be only one.
Oh, too good.
Adrian!
Hey, speaking of Adrian, have you watched the Tulsa Kings yet?
God, I love that show. After watching it, I got to tell you, I wish he would do more mob type shows or movies. He's got the perfect demeanor.
We'll discuss it more. That's where I was yesterday. I decided to skip the show and watch Tulsa Kings, and it was important to me, I got 2 shows left, so you're lucky I'm here today.
Well, I'm sure that all of the audience is lucky and happy that you are here today.
Oh yeah, all of them, all eight of them. Welcome.
We got our audience is just a wee bit bigger than that. Just
right.
not much,
11.
but a wee bit.
11.
Give or take. Yeah. Of course,
Yep.
If it is only 8, please don't tell our sponsors. Speaking of that, why don't you give them a shout out?
Not like they're watching. Let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Now you can buy from them direct for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. Don't forget, first responders get a discount, so make sure you give them a call. The California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. Hog holsters. If you want the most awesome concealable tactical holsters on the market, go to HAWGholsters.com. That's hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word. And if you want some great field gear for going out hunting, hiking, doing whatever you're doing outside, check out uscombatgear.com.
Folks, these are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do them a favor. Do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Check them out. All you got to do is hit up the links in the description to this program. You're going to like what you see. Spend some money with them and make sure that you tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. Also want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Encourage your friends to tune on in. We're available both on audio podcasts as well as video podcasts. You can watch us wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. You will find The Rundown. We are on multiple different channels. However you partake, by the way, you may want to partake of multiple channels just because you never know when we might be blocked by one. I know that right now on 2A News, we are being blocked by YouTube because of a video, Mike, that is over a year and a half old. They decided to flag us and suspend the account there at 2A News over a show that is a year and a half old. Nonetheless,
the video, the one with the thing with the guy where he did the stuff.
Yeah, well, clearly we were talking about something like we were either talking about Flovid or erection frauds.
Gotcha. Yeah.
One of those.
Beloved with K. Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's why we are on multiple channels, because we want to make sure that wherever that you can always find us if you want to watch. So,
Craig, I was out driving today,
mhm.
and traffic was just as horrible as it ever was. And all I could think was, COVID was false advertisement. They told us like half of us were going to die. I thought traffic would be so much better after COVID, and it's just the same.
Well, yeah. Well, they told a bunch of lies during COVID, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's go ahead and get into today's show. We're going to start with the whistleblower. That's right. This is the I believe this is the IRS whistleblower who has been involved in the investigation surrounding the Hunter Biden laptop. Now, this whistleblower is basically sharing all sorts of information regarding the Department of Justice and the IRS slow rolling the investigation. First and foremost, in order to prevent, or in order to make sure that Joe Biden got elected. But then secondarily, more kind of making sure he doesn't actually wind up in jail. And now, according to Fox News, the whistleblower is alleging that the FBI and DOJ have a document revealing the criminal scheme involving Biden, this is President Biden, and foreign national. Let's read a little bit more. It says the whistleblower alleging the FBI and Justice Department are in possession of a document that describes criminal scheme involving then Vice President Joe Biden and a foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer and Senator Chuck Grassley said on Wednesday. Now, one has to wonder if they're claiming this, if they're stating this, have they seen the document, number one? Or is this a public statement to which they are attempting to get the FBI or the DOJ to hand over the document? What do you think?
At this point, Craig, not sure, right? I think maybe if they had the document, we'd have seen it by now, or maybe they've seen the document but don't have a copy, and that's the purpose of this, to try and force their hand. Either way, it appears as though it does exist. It's been seen at some point, and now they're trying to get it out into the public eye.
Yeah, that's what I think. I just don't want this to turn out to be like an Adam Schiff thing, where he came out multiple times and said there was evidence. There was incontrovertible evidence that of Russian collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians, and nothing ever appeared. I don't want that to be the case here. I want the evidence to come out. I want to see it. I want to put it out there. I think from what I've seen from the laptop, there's tons of evidence there. But if they've got something else on top of that,
how much more evidence do we need of the laptop? We have, all the contents of it. We have everything in it. We know the chain of custody on the darn thing. At what point are we going to do something about the laptop? Oh, I know. Never while Biden's in office. That's right. That's exactly what's going to happen. And then, hopefully not the same, like you said, with this alleged whistleblower document. Hopefully we can get that there into the public eye. Actually get something rolling, right? Get the ball rolling. It seems as though all of the want to be Trump prosecutors are not busy now. We could put them on this.
Well, and in the end, nothing is going to happen with it, because first of all, you notice none of the mainstream media is reporting this. This is literally only, you can find it at Breitbart, you can find it at Washington Times, Washington Free Beacon, but you will not find any conversation about any of this on the mainstream media. It'll probably happen sometime around December 2024.
Remember, folks, these are not conspiracy theories. Time and time again, they've been proven to be spoiler alerts. That's all they are.
Exactly. We are not sharing conspiracy theories. We are being prophetic.
Spoiler alert.
Excuse me while I prophesy.
That's it, yeah.
Them Bidens, they gonna get indicted.
That's it. Yep. And if you throw a can of spinach at Biden, you probably take him down.
If you
Knock
threw a
man,
spinach leaf at Biden, you would take him down.
just tapioca would go everywhere.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, moving right along to our next story. We all know the lies that are being told about our southern border, that they are in fact secure. Well, now there is a former Democrat, and now turned independent. And she's turned independent because she knows she can't win as a Democrat in Arizona, the way things are currently going at the border. But she is now standing up and is fighting and is pointing out, well, you know what? Her specific comment was, let me read it. The border is not secure. Anyone with eyes can see that. And that was in response to this.
It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day, day and night, to increase its security.
When it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that this president has taken. But we know that more action needs to be taken. So it has to be legislative action. We're going to continue to call Congress to do that.
So obviously the border is not secure. Anyone with eyes can see that. And anyone who lives in a border state like I do, born and raised in Arizona, actually takes offense at comments like that because they're just factually not true. The reality is that border communities in my state are suffering already, and that's before the end of Title 42. Just last week, I held a hearing in our border subcommittee and brought a Republican mayor and a Democratic mayor, both representing small border towns from Arizona, and we just asked them, what is it like every day in your town? And Brett, there are high-speed chases going on through the city of Sierra Vista right now, with young teens driving cars and sometimes being killed or causing the death of others, transporting drugs and other migrants through these communities. It is not secure. It is not safe.
So when you hear the administration sending 1,500 troops down there to the border, what's your response to that?
Well, 1,500 troops should be helpful. Now, I will say, we got that announcement this morning. My team has asked for a briefing. We've got no information about what it's going to look like. But 1,500 bodies is better than not 1,500 bodies. But no.
All right, so let's touch on that a little bit. The first thing was, the first flat out lie is one only need look. Over 6 million people have crossed our southern border illegally. That's not, I mean, we're talking from that's not having your border under control, number one. Then you had Karine Jean-Pierre say that, oh, well, it's down 90%. No, Mike, that is what they're referring to is there are programs where people from 4 countries where they right. suspended or put in place the program where they would be able to enter the country in order to look for work, right? Which meant that illegal border crossings, number one, only for people from those 4 countries is down. And it's not that it's down, not that they're not coming. It's just that they're coming over looking for work. They're letting them in. I'm just like, and that to her, she's like, oh, well, it's down 90% in some cases. I'm like, it just flat out lies.
Yeah, they're saying the border is secure because people are not trying to cross illegally anymore, Craig, and they're not trying to cross illegally anymore because they're just letting them in illegally. So they're not trying to cross illegally; they're being let in illegally. So it's not illegal border crossings; it's illegal accessed border entries that they're doing. The only time this border will be secure, Craig, is when we get a new administration, and based on the numbers, this might happen. Everybody else in the world is already here. That's the only way.
Well, and here's the other thing: those 1,500 National Guardsmen they're not sending them there to enforce the border the way Donald Trump did. They're sending them there to do administrative stuff. What they're sending them there to do is help process these folks so that they can enter the country illegally. That's it. It's processing. It's not keeping them from coming into the country. It's not protecting or securing our border. It is literally just processing so the people who are entering the country illegally do not have to wait in line as long.
Yeah, that's it. They're not being sent to keep people out there. They're being sent there to assist bringing people in.
And the mainstream media is co-signing.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Absolutely
co-signing
right.
on the lie. Now, folks, I'm just going to say this to you. if we don't have a border, I know some people are like, well, but they're just trying to get here for a better life. And I understand that. And if I were in their shoes, I would probably be trying to come here as well. I'm not, but at a certain point, you have to say, who's responsible for paying for this? What are the risks that are now happening? Who are the people who are in need of social services, who are in need of education, who are in need of healthcare, who are not being served because we are allowing people from other countries, and not just Mexico, a bunch of other countries. Everyone knows that all you got to do is get to Mexico, and then you can cross our southern border. Trust me, there's a lot more than just Mexicans who are crossing at our southern border. And by the way, we have no idea who they are. I have absolutely no idea. They could be terrorists. They could be robbers. They could be thieves. They could be drug mules. We don't know. I'm not saying they're all that, but you can't tell me that none of those are included in the people that we don't know are coming across our southern border.
Craig, you ask who's paying for it. I'll tell you who's paying for it. We're paying for it. Why do you think an egg is $3 now? Why do you think it's $4 a gallon for gas? Why do you think your taxes are so high? Guess who's paying for it? You're paying for it. I'm paying for
and
it.
Me. You and me.
All right. To drop some more movie quote trivia on you, between the administration and the media, they're all in cahoots.
Yep. Yes, they are. And it is, quite frankly, sad. Very sad.
There's your collusion for you.
Okay. All right. So this next one, I actually spelled it right. I actually spelled the next one. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the full screen here, and I'm going to fix it. So there was an article that I came across that was dealing with, that was talking about CPR, or was talking about first aid kits for third graders. And at first when I read it, I was like, what the heck are they talking about in this particular piece? Well, really what it is, and here, let me pull up the article real quick. So what they're talking about is, they're saying in the bill would train third graders to use battlefield tourniquets. And that's not what it is at all. It says here, 2 Democrats in the House have co-sponsored legislation that would require third graders in public schools to have access to bleeding control stations and tourniquets approved for use in the field, for battlefield trauma care by armed forces. Now, I sit on a school board, Mike. I think I've told you this probably a million times. I sit on a school board, and I have always found it interesting that we're doing this training, right? This active shooter training, and yet at the same time, nowhere included in the active shooter training is any sort of training for battlefield trauma. In other words, a lot of these kids are basically getting shot and bleeding out. And none of the teachers or none of the staff are trained or have access to these trauma kits in order to be able to stop the bleeding. Anyway, I actually think the bill is a good idea. I just think that it's being misrepresented by Newsweek.
Oh, it absolutely is, and we know that this program works, right? We've seen it with organizations like Faster Save Lives out of Ohio, where they come into the school and they'll teach you how to deal with active shooters, and that doesn't include just how to deal with the gunman. That's also how to deal with the trauma that the gunman causes, because, like you said, people are dying while waiting for the emergency responders. So those that choose not to be part of the actual physical confrontation to take down the gunman, those people are being taught to care for the wounded, care for the injured, so to keep them alive until first responders can make it on scene. This is a program that works. And Craig, let's get rid of the active shooter part. Why wouldn't we be teaching first aid to kids these days? Why shouldn't we teach them with all of the, extreme sports and exports and regular high school sports that they're being taught? Why not teach them first aid and have them get a leg up on saving a life?
According to the Newsweek article, it says here that the bleeding stations would also include chest seals, compression bandages, bleeding control bandages, space emergency blankets, latex-free gloves, markers, scissors, and instructional documents developed by the American College of Surgeons or the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, detailing methods to prevent blood loss following a traumatic event. I don't often take my hat off and say congratulations or thank you to Democrats when it comes to stuff like this, but if I had a hat on, I would take it off to them. I think it's a good bill.
Yeah, let's title it what it is, though. Let's make it a first aid bill rather than an active shooter bill, okay? Because an active shooter bill involves with how to deal with the aggressor. This is a first aid bill, and let's hear it for first aid. Craig, we had first aid in my school growing up in high school, and I, had the unfortunate circumstance to give someone CPR and save their life, during high school. But it was because of the training I'd gotten in a high school program. So why not let that happen? Why not let that spread around and let kids today have that?
There you go. I think we're both in 100% agreement on that. Okay, we have a comment here from GH on YouTube. It says, yes, we have a document. Yes, a document. You guys really think a document will bring down the presidency if two impeached didn't take down Trump's? Oh, no, don't get me wrong. First of all, understand this. Donald Trump was not convicted of a single thing. He's only been indicted for one thing, right? Right now, and he hasn't even been on trial for that yet. So, first of all, he has not been convicted of high crimes and misdemeanors. In this particular case, this is a crime that, number one, was committed before he became president. Now, the big question is, and this is the question I want to ask you, GH, why are they covering it up? The point here, the thing that the whistleblower is trying to say here, is that they've had this information since 2020. Since the end of 2020, they've had this, and they've covered it up. They've been slow rolling the investigation. By the way, just so y'all know, in case you had forgotten, it wasn't the break-in that took down Nixon. It was the cover-up that took down Richard Nixon. And in this particular case, you have multiple agencies slow-rolling investigations in order to protect a sitting president. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all.
And they have perfected the art of cover-up, okay? Including the collusion with the news media, right? They've perfected the art of the cover-up.
Yeah. Well, by the way, and no, GH commented again saying, if you have to say the word they, that would be the first clue that you are not really making an argument. Who are they? They are in this particular case, it's the intelligence agencies, because the intelligence agencies didn't like Donald Trump when he was in there. Many of them were some of them were career appointees who, quite frankly, did not like Donald Trump because, he wasn't real kind to the intelligence agencies. And he wasn't. But they didn't like it because, first of all, they couldn't control him and they couldn't predict what it was that he was going to do. And then you had some of them actually working in collusion or in cahoots with the Democratic Party or with Democrats. So that's the they, DH. And by the way, all of this is documented. All of this is already out there. It's, the mainstream media is not going to report on it. So it's a good thing that you're here so that you can actually hear the truth.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. All right, now we're going to move on to, I found this one to be quite interesting. And it's really only for probably passing comment and jokery. Kamala Harris, who was named the border czar, the one who has yet to go to the border and actually come up with any way in which to deal with these 6 million people, the record-breaking number of people who have entered our country illegally. Yeah, Kamala, her. Yeah, she's gone from being the border czar. We know what a great job she did on being the border czar, to now she's going to be the AI czar in order to save us from artificial intelligence. Now, Mike, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you were going to actually save us from artificial intelligence, doesn't that mean you should probably have some actual intelligence?
The irony of this, Craig, that we're taking someone with no intelligence at all and putting them in charge of any kind of intelligence is just dumbfounding. It's a meme waiting to happen. It's a bad comic strip in the New Yorker waiting to happen. This is just, let's take the person with the least intelligence available and put her in charge of an intelligence item, even if it is artificial intelligence. You know what? I see her getting outwitted by these AI bots the first meeting they have. It's going to be laughable.
All right, it says here, the White House announced a plan to crack down on artificial intelligence, AI, on Thursday, amid growing concerns over the advanced technology possibly replacing humanity someday, naming Vice President Kamala Harris as AI czar in charge of the new initiative. Harris, who has the lowest approval rating of any modern vice president, will lead the initiative as AI czar with a $140 million budget, the White House said. Mike, once again, I just can't begin to say enough. Here's the thing that worries me, is I see such a marvelous job she's done as the border czar, and I'm really concerned that AI is going to take over humanity. I'm convinced now that once they realize that we as a people were dumb enough to put her in charge of the war against AI, that we are doomed. AI is going to say they do not deserve to live.
She's going to be their Baltar. She's going to be their civilian person representative of the new cybernetic race. She's going to. That's her role. That's her job.
Wow. Okay, guys. Okay, folks. Battlestar Galactica reference. Mike, you definitely deserve a high five for that one. High five. Good stuff. Oh, and on that note, we're going to go ahead and move into our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Get your Hog Holster at hogholster.com. Make sure you use the discount code, The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, kind of like it is just right up there, right? See that? No spaces, all caps. Do it right there. Get your discount today. All right, our first one, with all the things that are going on, whether it's inflation, whether it's the crime going through the roof, whether it's the poor quality of education, whatever it may be, people just seem to just not accept the fact, or just they seem to be happy with the fact, well, they're okay with what's going on as long as Donald Trump is not president. You want to describe this one for the folks?
It's two people, and it appears to be a ute, a baby, in their apocalypse, gas masks and clothing, and they're walking along, just having a daily stroll. And it says, "Democrats be like, still better than Trump. No mean tweets."
There you go. This is, by the way, for those of you who are watching, you will probably recognize this from Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead. This is after a nuclear bomb had been dropped.
See, I have not seen that.
Okay, this next one really is kind of a COVID conversation, although it's also kind of the transgender conversation and all of that. It says, I tried to follow the science, but it was simply not there. Then I followed the money. That's where I found the science. Ain't that the truth?
Yep. That's it.
All right, and then finally, we have my good friend from Star Trek Voyager, Mr. Tim Russ, who is going to share with us the background and the history of May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you. Now, you've probably heard that quite a bit on Twitter or at the office today, but what does it mean? Why is everyone saying it? I'm Star Trek Voyager's Tim Russ, and I'm here to explain Star Wars Day. You see, May the 4th celebrates a movie called The Star Wars. In The Star Wars, the 4th is a powerful energy that binds the galaxy together. Now, using the 4th powerful magicians called space druids are able to do crazy things like pick something up or tell people they're wrong.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
But why May the 4th? Well, May the 4th is Star Wars' birthday. So when you say May the 4th be with you, you're really saying happy birthday, the Star Wars. But what is a Star War? A Star War is like a regular war, only instead of bullets, it's got lasers. And in the Star Wars, there is only one Star War, but it is a doozy. You see, Darth Vader, the bad guy, hates Luke Skywalker because he is his son. Sounds like a bad dad if you ask me. Anyway, because he's so mad at his son, he builds a giant ball that can blow up Earth. Luke and his friends, Obi, Hans, Robot, Pill, and Chewbacca, accidentally find the ball and realize that's no moon. It's a death ball. And they're right. So they go inside it. And guess who's there? Darth Vader and his boss, the garbage octopus. Now his friends all save the girl character and try to leave, but not before Darth Vader turns Obi into laundry. Luke is sad and realizes there's only one thing to do. Get in his X thing and kill everyone on the death ball. Pill gets his head blown off, so Luke uses the Force to put a laser in the death ball's hole. Boom! So long, death ball. They won! Outstanding! A wizard even gives the humans a medal. But not Pill. Sorry, Pill. And that's the end of the Star Wars. No, just kidding. They made a bunch more of them, featuring everyone's favorite characters, Fatty the Slug, Ed Harris, Axe Hog, and Laura. Also, did you know that Jar Jar Binks was from the Star Wars? I always thought he was just a great comedian. Well, that's all the time we have. Hopefully now you have a comprehensive understanding of the Star Wars. Join me next week when I'll be explaining the Steven Spielberg classic, Dinosaur Island. May the 4th be with you.
That's right. May the 4th be with you.
Always.
Fun stuff, fun stuff. Our good friend GH, I don't think he very much appreciates. I don't think he's a normal conservative listener or watcher. Let me read a couple of his comments here. It says, strange how you ignore your own chat stream given that there's only one visitor. But hey, outstanding. Because, see, GH, unlike you, see, I work, right? So I'm both behind the camera and in front of the camera. And I will respond to comments, but I'm not going to respond to every comment. In particular, the stupid ones. And you've had some reasonable comments here, but some of the ones you had were just plain stupid. So I ignored them.
But thanks for watching.
In any case, before we go, because it is about that time, we're going to go ahead and give another quick shout out to our sponsors. Mikey, take it away.
Yep, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. Now you can get rifle and pistol caliber barrels at any length you want. Go to hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And don't forget, if you want some awesome gear to go to the woods with, go to the field, go hunting, go hiking, go to uscombatgear.com.
Folks, once again, these are our sponsors. Visit them and make sure you tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And on that note, we're gonna call this a wrap. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program. Tomorrow we will be back on Freedback Friday, so tune in.